What y'all think of the reading? Did you know you had a reading? Since y'all haven't had one for like 3 weeks. Did anyone look to see if they had a reading?
We did the paper.
Oh, you did the paper? Wow, gold star for you. Y'all can turn the papers down there.
Yeah, because Martha will wait in my building.
They want to choose. We cover most of the reading in the lecture anyway. Who had a good understanding of followership before they went to field training? Really? Who had a good understanding compared to what they learned at field training? And what did you learn at field training about followership?
Important.
It's important. Why?
If you don't have followership, you can't function as a cohesive unit. Then you don't have any direction and nobody can get anything done.
Can't get anything done if you don't have it. Okay. What else?
Something I learned from field training is I thought I had a pretty good basis, pretty good foundation, but field training kind of solidified the idea that followership is a really active role still.
Active.
It's not just doing what you're told, it's thinking, analyzing, and supporting.
Awesome. What else? Chat?
If it seems like nobody wants to follow you, it can be really hard to kind of get them to like actively think about what the problem is and actually like follow what you decide to do.
So followership is kind of a two-way street then, right? It's important and critical that the leader gets that follower active in that role, but it's not like you as a follower or your airmen as followers. It's not like they just sit there and wait for the leader to do something, right? It is an active role. It's both actions. Both have to take actions. Both should take actions to make that dynamic followership happen. Anything else? Chad, anything you've learned from out at the guard base and followership?
I just think to be a good leader, you have to be a good follower.
And somebody who had in their definition of leadership that was it you, Kennedy, where you talked about followership and leadership, were they pretty much the same thing, and what's the difference?
Yeah.
Okay.
Responsibility-wise, I think a follower can fill the position of leadership, and leader can fill the position of follower. I think it is just a different roles. Leader is the role a member of the team has to play. But everyone is responsible.
Absolutely.
So,
And even me as a leader, I'm still a follower too, right? I've got a boss. And also, I'm a follower to all of you. Yes, I lead you as the detachment commander. However, I also am your all's number one assistant, and I make sure that you have what you need to succeed. So in a way, I'm in a followership role. You've seen a couple different kinds of followership out at the guard base. Yeah. Some dynamic, some not so much. Yeah. Some big thinkers, some not so big thinkers.
yeah, I guess there's different groups of different types of followers.
Go over that. Okay. All right. Anybody have any comments with the leadership development before we move on? No? Mikey? Not Mikey? Gonna follow it? Yeah. Can't wait for you. I love it. All right. Overview. What we're going to be talking about. We will be looking at Kelly's two-dimensional model of follower behavior and then some characteristics of effective followership. Guess what the samples of behavior are? It's amazing. It's the same thing. And of course, this is the last section of this test. We'll look for test on Tuesday. Captain meeting. better start buying him nice stuff now. Making him zucchini bread. For me, followership defined by two people that I've had the privilege of knowing. This is Master Sergeant Doreen Sabal. This is now Lieutenant Colonel Rich Tanner. Both of them extremely dynamic thinkers, dynamic followers. Sergeant Sabal, she's Fijian by birth, so she had a long ways to go to make it to where she is an airman in the United States Air Force. One good thing that all followers have is their ability to communicate. Yeah, you got to be able to do that. Example for her for communication: when she was deployed to Balad, she realized that the Kurdish Peshmerga were doing security for a lot of the base. And what she figured out was that their dialect and Fijian were actually fairly similar, the languages. And she was able to pick up enough in their language that she could get, she works in a command post, by the way. Okay, so she'd be listening to the radio with the Kurds on there, and she'd hear them talk about base attacks long before any kind of notification they would normally get. So she was able to get information out to the general populace on Balad. Even if it was a couple seconds sooner, she was able to get that information out because she used the skills that she had and didn't sit back. She was very dynamic. She said, "Man, I've got this skill," and so she used that. One example. Very committed. I saw this a couple times with her as a supervisor, where she had airmen who one was sexually assaulted and the other one was a domestic abuse case. And she brought both of those airmen into her home and took care of them. She was extremely hands-on. She was completely committed to her airmen. In that role of making the unit better and trying to keep everybody functioning so that we could complete the mission. Courage, single mother for on and off for the 6 years that I knew her. So she was, that takes incredible courage to be able to work 12-hour shifts on a regular basis and still take care of the little one at home and do it well. Always enthusiastic, and one of the best things about her was she was a very willing. She would dissent, not all the time, but if she didn't agree with something that I said, she had no problem saying, "Colonel Gore, I think I read this in the AFI. I think we need to do it this way," and more likely than that, when it's especially AFI driven, I'd say you're absolutely right. But she, if she didn't agree necessarily with something that I said, or maybe the section chief, she would raise her hand, and she was not afraid to speak her mind. That being said, if we said, "Hey, we're still going this way," she was right in line. She was right there, and she was very by the books. So she was that subject matter expert too. She was a great follower. Colonel Rich Tanner, I used to fly with him back in the day. Best instructor pilot I've ever known. He had that credibility, that knowledge as well. Always had that big picture, understood things at a much deeper level, and would help keep us on track in getting the mission accomplished. Very sound decision maker, strong morals that he was able to base those decisions on. All right. Courage. He's Mormon, and he's not afraid to tell you that. He doesn't wear it on his sleeve, but he was very proud of it. And sometimes when we get things like religion, they're a little off the beaten path. That can be a divisive thing. It was never that way. I've never felt uncomfortable that I was being judged by him or anything. Hell, he used to drive for us all the time. He was our designated driver at every exercise there was one. But he never judged us. Great individual and also an incredible cause for that. So I have seen some great followers that I've had in my career. And I know you will too, and you will be those great followers. So when we're looking at Kelly's model, the two-dimensional model, we talked about the passive and the active. Andrew brought up the active side. You want to see followers, and followership should be an active process. Also have critical thinking and uncritical thinking. What's critical thinking? What is the act of critical thinking?
Dissecting the situation and thinking deeper into something, not just doing something because that's what it's done.
Okay. Anybody else got a definition for that? You all kind of agree with that? Who thinks they're a good critical thinker? Really? Man, it took me years. I bet I wasn't a critical thinker until I was a senior captain. I was very checklist oriented. As long as it was on that checklist, I was good with it. Going off that checklist, not so good. It took me a long time to really start thinking about things and asking why and making sure I understood it from different angles so that I could really critically think about something and have a good answer, a good educated answer. You all have to figure it out. Might develop a little bit. Okay, so yeah, I totally agree with Andrew's definition. So if we quad this out, we've got our survivors here in the middle. All right, we're going to go over each of these. Yes, people, sheep, alienated followers, effective followers, and survivors. For our army brethren, we do pictures of Josh. Yeah. Does everyone know who this is? Yeah. Everyone seen Full Metal Jacket? No? Never. Wow.
I have it on DVD if anyone wants it, but it's kind of creepy.
I mean, it probably came out in 80 years. Good movie. This is a good movie.
The actor that plays like the drill sergeant in it, the dude that yells all the time.
The Irving?
Yes. Kid I graduated from high school with, that family friend. He joined the Marine Corps right out of high school, and he met him. Like, he got pictures of him when he was at the White House, because he got to be on like Obama's like detail or something.
Awesome. And he ad-libbed the whole opening scene.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Oh, really?
That whole opening scene was all off the top of his head.
Wow.
His actual job for like.
Right, it was his job. Yeah, he was a drill sergeant, but still they ad-libbed that. That's been pretty impressive. All right, let's go through the different ones. Sheep are passive followers. Good, bad? Are they good followers? Why not?
Because they just kind of hang out and they'll just like do what they're told but not put a lot of thought into it, like, oh, is this like the best way to do this? Is there another way to do this? Anything like that. You're just like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do, this is what I do. Just not really move out of that comfort zone.
Anybody else? Yes, I agree. That's pretty much it, huh? Use A1. No, probably basic. Maybe TD1, TD0, huh? Not really thinking, just doing what you're told, trying to stay as small as possible. Don't think on me. Definitely taking a passive role, lacking initiative. We probably have plenty of initiative. Receive that order. Don't ask any questions. Just do the sheep. We don't want sheep. But I would say that the vast majority of airmen, officers, and enlisted, especially in the early ranks, probably fall right into the wallflowers. Next up, yes people. Who likes yes people? always saying you're right, even when you're wrong. Right? Dangerous?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, they are. Because they're active, aren't they? And they're always out front. Yes, sir. You bet. What do you think? Should we jump off the cliff? That's a great idea. All right, let's do it. No, not smart. Not smart. We all know them. Dangerous. Survivors. Stuck someplace in the middle, right? Don't really know what they want, not really passive, not really active. They can think for themselves, but probably don't want to. Yeah, they're just stuck there. Right in the middle. Not really committed, just getting by. Clogging the arteries. Making stop. Anybody know what this acronym stands for? Road. Retired on active duty. Yeah? That's your 18-year master sergeant who's just trying to make it. It's your major who just got passed over. Let me retire. Let me finish out. Don't give me anything too challenging. I won't cause any problems. I just want to sit at my desk. And they're just surviving, right? What kind of follower is that? Not much, right? They're not gonna. Are they helping the organization? Some, but as little as they possibly can. Because work is hard. Why would you want to do that? I only got 2 years left. I don't want to do anything tough. That's not a great idea, but dissent is hard. It means I might have to explain myself. And what's 4:28? And I'm out of here in 2 minutes. That's your survivor. Don't be that. Alienated follower. Who's that? And oh, by the way, I think this is the most dangerous follower that we have on this chart. What's an alienated follower? Anybody know? Justin.
So by the looks of the chart, it looks like they're critical thinkers, so they have their ideas, but maybe the leader doesn't take their ideas seriously or something. They kind of just shut off, maybe, but they're still kind of brewing thoughts and stuff.
Yeah. So when that person is still brewing, when the boss said, I don't think we're going to go that way, where does that alienated follower go?
Let me go to his colleagues and kind of
Throw the boss under the bus, huh? Yeah, anybody know anyone like this? Yeah. Anyone ever do that? Yeah. Maybe that one time. Dangerous. Why are they dangerous? Bad for morale? Yeah? Anybody else?
They don't always share their ideas with the leader too, besides like getting them shot down. They might not always share them, so then they'll just get angry and like say stuff and they're not being helpful in any way to like their leader.
You bet. They might just totally bypass that leader, not bring up the other dissenting ideas, even though they might be good, and just, well, he or she doesn't listen to me. I don't even know what. This idea is much better. We'd be able to do things this much faster. I don't even know. I had my first deployment, when we deployed as a C-17 squadron, we were spread out in a bunch of different locations. We were in Mildenhall, England, and Kuwait, and Manas, and Al Udeid. Where else were we? In Turkey. So we were kind of all over the place. And, I mean, they're not all garden squads by any means, but certainly the crews that were down in the deep with the white rocks that blind you. I'll tell you what, anytime you go to Al Udeid, if you don't bring your sunglasses, you probably won't be able to see for the rest of your life. I don't know that they paint the rocks white, right? but they're like this color, but when you put 80 bajillion kilowatts of light on lumens on them from the sun, they're blinding. Come out of a completely black tent, and it's like, oh. Anyway, we had a crew who, by chance, by luck, ended up at the D a couple times. It was a rotation. We do a figure eight, and they get stuck there every once in a while on flying missions out there. Had nothing to do with them, right? It was just kind of luck of the draw. So I ran into this crew down there in the D, and they had a very, very critical thinking captain of the aircraft command, right? He was toxic, and he didn't want to bring up his ideas with the boss or talk to the boss about how he thought his crew was getting the shaft, because they always had to go to the not so nice spot. So he just held his dissent in with his crew. And so that whole crew turned on the commander. AC had never even talked to the commander about what the aircraft commander hadn't talked to the squadron commander about, hey, this isn't right or anything like that. And he turned this whole crew against the squadron commander. That alienated following can be very, very dangerous. You need to watch for these people. And you, in your peer groups, when you get on active duty, need to watch for these people, because you will definitely see them. And we all know who they are, and we know what they do. And they're toxic to an environment. They're toxic to a command. They bring morale down. They hurt the esprit de corps. And there's no place for them. And most of them are really great thinkers. And all we got to do is get them over here. Oh, there's our penguin doing his own thing. Comb your hair, man. We want them over there. We want them with the effective followers. Right? So we got the people, the followers that we all want to be, that we all want to have, critical thinkers, active in the process, willing to dissent, but ready to follow, get the mission done. Any questions with any of the 5 groups? The quad plus 1? Think you'd be able to figure it out and maybe a test question? Yeah, seems to have done. Alright. With those effective followers, there's some characteristics that we certainly see in those individuals. We'll be going over each one. Stay away. Exemplifying the core values. We've talked about core values many times. We had a whole class. Obviously, the followers that we want in the Air Force are going to follow the core. That's going to be part of them. That's what they build everything off of. Right. Decision makers. Yes, we want decision makers. Good, sound thought process. Wanting to be part of the team. These are the old pictures too. Not overextending themselves. Communicators. Right? You gotta have those good communication skills. I was talking about with Sergeant Sabal. She was able to figure stuff out. She critically thought and came up with a great plan that she was able to use her communication skills more than others. Tactful feedback. Favors, do you get tactful feedback? I hope so. I hope so too. I know you guys are starting midterm feedbacks. I trust you. You're here. You're on the slide. These come from Home Center. I didn't do this. They're just giving these great examples of perfect followers here. I searched the cadet archives for a picture of the cadet. I didn't go down to find them.
I didn't go over to like the police office to get that one?
I could have, but it looks much better in white than orange. Commitment. Loyalty to the organization, loyalty to the mission, loyalty to fellow airmen, and to your commander. Michael, have you gone the extra mile? Yeah. Mile and a half. At least. Problem solvers. Are these the two problem solvers? Actually, I just did this now. Stupid. We all need to be problem solvers, right? We can't just see a problem and say someone else is going to figure it out, the boss is going to figure it out, and we'll just do whatever the boss says. No, we've all got to take an active role in that. Because it's not that easy. It's hard enough to be the boss. But if no one is helping them solve a problem, well, you better not be complaining with whatever the solution is. Because you had a chance to take an active role in it. I'm surprised we let you in. I see that picture, I would have been like,
I don't think that's even me there.
I'm pretty sure.
That's the third receipt.
If there was, we'd all be in trouble.
Organizational understanding. Can you see the big picture? Do you know where we're going? We get kind of nugged down in our daily grind, and we're all doing tasks. But can we look up and see, hey, this is where we're going. This is our end goal. We got to make sure that whatever we're doing day in and day out still aligns with that end goal, so we don't get going off on tangents, right? Understand the importance of the job. Do you think you'll ever maybe be working in a job that doesn't feel that important, or doesn't feel like it's necessarily part of the mission? I will tell you, it is a challenge. It is very much a challenge, especially the farther you get away from the flight line, so to speak. Okay? How am I having an effect on the fight against ISIS? I don't know. I'm handing out towels at the gym. I don't really have, you got to find that importance in your job, and know that you're a critical link, no matter what you're doing in the Air Force, because you are. You can't do it without you. That's why you're here. Fun about those.
You must have seen me doing yoga.
Oh, right. Yeah. Once you did like the yoga, so flexibility is key to air power. Adapt and overcome. Remain calm during new challenges. Feel like you're asked that resiliency. Comprehensive airman fitness. Fast, safe, flexible. Oh my gosh, we're running out. Confidence. Never stops learning. That's right. Not afraid to share information and loves hugs. That's part of confidence. I'm sorry. Courage. All gotta have courage. Gotta be the one standing up for what's right. And enthusiasm. Part of enthusiasm is not chewing gum in uniform. Just saying. See that picture? Now, and I did not get this, but this was a picture from Home Center. No kidding. I'm like, didn't you see the? I wish it had been like Bubblicious or something. Just some disgusting pink blob.
They must have gone to the academy first.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's bad enough that they're space weenies wearing flight suits. No, gum chewers too. All of them.
She wearing a turtleneck? She is.
It's a mock.
That's good.
Yeah. Fashionable. But they are enthusiastic. Gotta have enthusiasm. Right? Capability is important too, but enthusiasm is a good way to start off. I will tell you one of the best things coming into the detachment for me in all of your enthusiasm. I will tell you, on active duty, we have a tendency to get a bit cynical, a bit deep down. It's not the easiest life. So when I came in here and I saw all your smiling faces, and you had no idea what you were really smiling about, but you're happy and enthusiastic, man, it made me happy and enthusiastic. It's you bring that power wherever you go, right? Embrace the suck wherever you go. It's bad for everybody, but if you're enthusiastic, without chewing gum, everyone else is going to be happy. It's amazing what you can get done just with a little enthusiasm. All right. Oh yeah, it's really quick. 35 minutes. I mean, we can talk for another 25 minutes.
We could show a clip from Full Metal Jacket.
Might lose weight. I don't think you can show a clip that doesn't have at least 4 hours. The Office. I tried to find an Office clip. I figured there was some Yes Man, but all I came up with was the Jim Carrey movie, Yes Man. Exam, 30 questions, all multiple choice. Every section is on the exam except for the ones where we were going over writing. Right, so if someone could make sure, even though videotape it, make sure that Schultz.
Good extra credit questions there?
I'm thinking about it. Not anymore though. Several of the questions are going to be scenario based, and then you'll have to, so they're not all like straight definition type stuff. You'll be given a scenario, and then, okay, is this a alienated follower, or is she a survivor? Just an example. So be ready for those. With those, always make sure you read the entire question 3 times. You got 1 enough time, and then figure out what exactly fits. What is the most likely answer? Because you could argue several different ways, but there's always going to be one most correct. And I've gone through these questions many times to try and change them, tweak them so that they match what we find. Anybody got to get to the group?
Get
All right.
psyched for dining in.
What's that?
Get psyched for dining in.
I am.
I'm so excited.
Do you have a costume?
Yes, sir. Just wait.
I'm kind of excited to see what Frank's in. You never know what Frank's in.
His Halloween costume is like 3D printed his own head. It's like 3 times the size. Somewhere.
Frank, did you 3D print your head?
I did not, sir.
But it's awesome.
Probably not as great as Frankston's gonna be, but
That's what you
it's
make
exciting.
it.
It'll be exciting.
You bring the enthusiasm and you
3D printed his own
voices.
head.
Alright, have a good evening.